Watermelon.
Bingo! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
We don't want to torture your brain straight away, so for our first riddle, we will keep it simple. In this picture, there are several watermelons. As you can see, someone really wanted to try each one of them, so they are all cut. Moreover, the watermelon pieces are quite strange, and the watermelons in the corners even resemble the character from the well-known video game Pac-Man. But before these green, sweet pieces of fruit give you the munchies, tell us how many watermelons are in this picture. Well, we are sure that you managed to solve this problem. There are only 5 watermelons here. You just need to properly divide the parts and put them in the right place. Cheese. Imagine that you are responsible for conducting a cheese tasting in a very expensive restaurant for the first time. There wasn't enough time to explain to you all the rules, so you are, of course, very worried. But fortunately, you found the strength to calm down and not panic when suddenly you are asked to cut a wheel of cheese. And not simply cut it, but divide it in 8 equal parts. You are probably an intelligent person with proper hands, so you might think it is not that hard. The problem is that you can only use the knife 3 times. Why 3, are you asking? Those are the strange rules of the restaurant. You cannot break them. So think about it, and in a few seconds, we will see how smart you are. It's time for the right answer. First, you need to cut the cheese 2 times, dividing the product into 4 equal parts. And then you only have to cut the cheese block horizontally in half, like this. Bus. Interestingly enough, children usually solve this riddle more quickly than adults. Of course, that doesn't mean that with age, a person becomes stupid and his or her brain stops working. The thing is that kids and adults see the world in different ways. So, here's a picture of a bus moving along the road somewhere in the US. At first glance, it seemed that there is nothing unusual in this drawing. But now tell us, in which direction is this vehicle going? Are you ready to hear the answer? Or your younger brother or sister has already told you? In fact, the answer to this puzzle is quite simple. In the picture, we don't see the doors of the bus, meaning that they are on the opposite side of the vehicle. Therefore, the bus is moving to the left, because the doors are always on the right, at least in countries with right-hand traffic. Tank. It's now time for a more difficult riddle. And if you weren't that good with physics at school, then use your logic and try to guess which of the tanks will be filled with water first if we open the tap. If the time we give you is not enough, then pause the video and think carefully. So, first of all, some pipes are blocked, and water cannot pass through them. To solve the puzzle, you just need to use the physical law of communicating vessels or your resourcefulness, and voila! Now we know that the tank F gets filled first. Lefty. Now, it's time for you to act as a real detective. There is a person here who supposedly committed a crime. We only know one thing about him. According to the record, the suspect is left-handed. Carefully study all the people in the picture and try to find the answer. Well, are you a proper detective now? If you decided that the lefty is the waiter, then feel free to say, "Yes, I am." To solve this riddle, you just had to look very carefully at the picture and take a closer look at the details. Surely, you notice that the waiter is holding the tray with his right hand, which means that he will place the items using his left hand. That's all. Case solved. Barrel. This is not a test to find out if you are a pessimist or an optimist, using a glass that is half full or half empty. We are actually going to check your sharpness with the help of an ordinary barrel. Just note that it can be of any size, color, and shape. So, how can you fill half the barrel without using any measuring instruments? You can put the video on pause, draw your guesses on a piece of paper, or just wait for the correct answer. Time's running. Hopefully, many of you found the right solution. The barrel should be placed on the ground, tilted at an angle of approximately 45 degrees, and filled with water until the liquid reaches both the top and bottom edges of the barrel. A circle with a dot. Can you draw a circle with a dot inside without taking your hands off the sheet of paper? It's impossible, you say? Yes, we thought it was impossible too, until we tried a fairly interesting option. You have a few seconds to try and draw the circle with the dot. If you fail, we will help you. The secret of this puzzle lies in the piece of paper, the corner of which needs to be slightly bent. You just have to draw a line, leaving the dots in two places, and then draw a circle. It's actually pretty easy. That's all for today. See you soon!